I don't work for the cruise ship. I drive water taxis. Home base is downtown, and the furthest dock we pick up and drop off at is occasionally occupied by small cruise ships. It takes about 10 minutes to get between the two locations if there are no stops, but we don't exclusively service cruise ships. We also pick up and drop off virtually anywhere in between. We run on a schedule, departing downtown on the hour, departing the dock near the cruise ship at past. For some crazy reason, the cruise ship passengers frequently think their all-inclusive cruise includes water taxi rides downtown. I frequently had to explain that I don't work for the cruise ship and we had to charge $3 plus tip per person each way, which means I have to argue with the same old dilapidated Karens both ways as they always try to argue that they are already paid on the way downtown and shouldn't have to even had to pay them. The only time I remember ever having received a tip from a crusty cruise ship Karen, alliteration, was when one crumpled a $5 bill and threw it at me exclaiming, "You obviously need this more than I do." And I replied, "I probably do need it more than you. Thank you. Now I'm halfway to my goal of paying for my next meal at Wendy's." My regular customers got kicked out of that and tipped handsomely. One day, I was transporting the captain of one of the cruise ships and we got to talking about how awful his passengers were to me. The end result of the conversation was that the cruise ship would launch their own tender and shuttle their own passengers for free. All of my coworkers rejoiced when they saw the cruise ship's own tender putting across the harbor. You know, there comes a point in time when you gotta ask yourself, how entitled are you where you spent thousands of dollars for this all-expense-paid cruise trip that you can't afford something as simple as a $3 little ferry from your boat to downtown. When they simply say, we're not part of whatever you guys got going on, that should honestly be the end all in the conversation. That should stop it right there. Just stop it right there. Listen to people when they talk to you. Not everyone's trying to lie to you, I promise. You have to take that entitledness and go back on a ship. Honestly, if that's how you're going to act, no one wants to deal with you anyways.
Talking to someone else in your own time. How dare you? This happened yesterday in my local supermarket. The cast, lovely old lady, an entitled Karen, a manager, a confused employee, and of course, me. Now I'm a fairly tall guy and I get asked to grab something off the top shelf by someone shorter than me on quite a regular basis. And when I see someone struggling to reach the product, I often help myself. So of course, when I saw this little old lady all stretched out standing on her toes, trying to reach the pack of crisps, I asked, "Do you need some help, ma'am?"
"Oh yes, dear. If you could grab me the 2-pack of crisps, that would be wonderful."
"No problem, here you are." I hand her 2-pack of crisps. The little old lady then starts to ask how I remind her of her son, because he's tall as well. And he also wears those kind of music shirts, and I'm wearing a shirt with a skull of a whispered one from Critical Role, but I choose not to correct her on that one. We keep chatting about 5 minutes, and during this time, the Karen of the story pops her head in the aisle about 2 or 3 times and looks in our general direction. I didn't think anything about it yet. So after about 5 minutes, the little lady thanks me again, and she goes her own way. Time for me to choose what kind of crisps I want. Nope.
"Are you finally done talking? I've been waiting for 15 minutes. What do you think your boss would say about you wasting 15 minutes talking to a customer?"
Me confused. I'm pretty sure he doesn't care whom I talk to.
"You're trying to tell me he doesn't mind you wasting time?"
Yeah, and even if he would mind, I don't see how it's any of his business.
"Nonsense. Anyways, I need a brand X coffee beans."
Me still oblivious to the fact she thinks I'm an employee. As far as I know, all the coffee's in the next aisle. I'm sure you'll find it there.
"I know it's in the next aisle, you idiot. But the shelf where it's supposed to be is empty."
Well, sorry. Can't help you then. And then I turned around looking at the crisp again.
"That's it. I will have your job for this."
It's not until now I realize she thinks I'm an employee there. Even though I'm wearing a black shirt with a skull on it and the employees wear light blue button-up shirts with the name tag. I want to explain to her that I did not in fact work there and that this must be a misunderstanding, but she's already storming off. I continue shopping, and a few minutes later, when I'm standing in a dairy section next to an actual employee who's stalking, I hear the shouting again.
That's the one! That's him!
The manager walks to the confused employee and asks him, "This lady tells me that you've been wasting 15 minutes just making small talk to a customer, and then you refuse to help her. Can you tell me what happened?"
That's not true. I did help someone find the grated cheese. But then I went straight back to stalking. No, not him. The other one.
And points at me. Manager looking at me and then to Karen. "Mum, this obviously is not an employee here." "No, how the fuck did you think I was an employee? I obviously don't look like one."
And now he's swearing at the customers. You need to fire him.
I just facepalm at this moment and then look in the manager in his eyes and say, "You know what? No need to fire me. I quit defective immediately." I then turn to the confused employee who's failing to understand what's going on, and I say, "It was nice working with you, mate. See you later," and shake his hand. I could see all three trying to figure out what just happened when I walked past them onto the checkout, and I couldn't stop laughing on my 3-minute walk home. Now, we've read a lot of these type of stories, but not often does the individual actually play along with the scenario. I love that he just left everyone absolutely dumbfounded and confused. And this poor employee who was just standing there stalking and got mixed up in all this, all because one person couldn't open their eyes and see a simple change in clothing. They literally had all three in one spot, and it was clear that he didn't work there. So why was she still persistent about it? It's very strange that she was so damn blinded by her own, just rage that she couldn't go, "Wait, why is he wearing this black shirt with a skull on it and these guys wearing blue shirts with name tags? Gee, I wonder, why, the name tag's usually at that giveaway. Why can't people look for a name tag? It's that simple." I don't even work here. A few years ago, we stayed at a house in North Carolina that was managed by a vacation rental company, and somehow I was added to their employee mailing list and began receiving requests to fix leaky faucets, rearrange schedules, etc. I had told them several times that I don't work for them and that I was only a guest once, and I even received a few responses apologizing and assuring that I'd be removed. But the emails kept coming, so I decided to have some fun with it.
"Hi Joshua, the guest who has a reservation has been able to get it for Saturday to Saturday before, and she is wondering if the owner would be willing to let her have it again for 2019.
Well, I just talked to Roger, and I don't think that's going to work. They're having a goblin stomper that week at the property. What that apparently is a days-long Dungeons & Dragons themed orgy where fighting men, excluding rangers and paladins, of course, bards, thieves, and all chaotics enjoy lusty indulgence in wine, women, and song. Apparently, all of us staff is invited, but there's a maximum expenditure of 500 gold points per level. Per night, 250 GP if recuperating and under 50%. And a player may orgy continuously as many days as he has constitution points, but then must rest for as many days as he's orgied. At least he expend his stamina."
That was more than I needed to know.
Thanks, Janet. This one was great because it took in the idea of Dungeons & Dragons, of which I like very much, and totally messed with a person who had no idea what was going on, but he made it sound icky. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I loved everything about the response that was given here, and I guess it just tickles my inner fancy on the inside. So that brings us to a close for our stories of today. My personal favorite, of course, was the last one because it's D&D, and I absolutely love it, and I just love the incorporation of D&D with the story, and really confusing the heck out of this person who has no idea what's going on. Just none. So, I want to know what your favorite story was. Please tell me in the comments section below. And if you guys ever do want to check out a D&D section that I'm actually in, we do it every other Wednesday on my Twitch channel located right there. It's actually going to be this Wednesday as well, so please check it out. It's a lot of fun, and I hope to see you there. So if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring that bell icon and
click the like button, and I look forward to your comments. Really, I do. But I will ask one last thing. Could you share this with people? Could you please share this with people? It definitely helps out a lot. You guys have been great. You guys have been awesome. As usual, as always, my friends, stay frosty and keep moving forward.